or good evening, or good night, whenever you're listening to this. This is a Southern Perspective podcast. You're still with us. Appreciate you being here. I mean, hey, it's been a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride. This is our second episode in the new studio.
Yep.
So hope y'all like it. We got some new.
I've got a lot of compliments on it. I'll say
bro.
that. Got a
Me
lot
too.
of compliments on it.
Me too. As
Very
you
nice.
probably can see, we have a third party here.
Yep, we got a new guy here today.
This is Eli J. You go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, everybody. My name's Eli Jarizal. I'm the creator and one of the co-founders, formerly full owner of my own small business here in Gaffney called Feather Threads. I make T-shirts, beanies, hoodies, and other apparel. And so far, I started out of my grandma's middle bedroom making shirts from a little press, and now I have my own office and the B-Gen building downtown Gaffney. So, yeah, I'm official now, and they asked me to come on the podcast, and I said absolutely. So,
Yeah, bro. Hey, y'all go check him out. Like on social medias, Instagram, follow him. He got Boiling Springs, Black Spray, and his main account. Y'all can go follow it, bro. And like y'all find all of his merch and clothing, and he's got more things. You got like cup sleeves. and
yeah,
things like
cup
that, too.
sleeves, bracelets.
I love the beanies.
Oh,
the
yeah.
beanies go hard.
The beanies are comfortable. They
Oh,
really
yeah.
are comfortable, and I
give me
use all
some
the
of
best material for my stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. So yeah, y'all go check him out.
Go check me out at Feather_Threads on Instagram and Feather Threads on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll put the his links down in the description, so y'all make sure to go check that out. We're gonna go into a weekly recap. I'm gonna start over there with Sethy boy. Seth, do you have anything interesting happen in your week this week?
Not that I can say. I got to see a tree get chopped down, so that was cool.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah, the most manliest thing
Most masculine.
I've ever seen in my life. But got to see a tree get chopped down, and almost saw somebody get raped today.
What? Oh no! Yes, I was there.
Yeah,
I was there for that.
it was an interesting event. I went to pick him up. This happened just maybe 30 minutes ago.
While I'm waiting here for
Yeah,
him.
he was waiting here for us, and he was at the gym, so I had to go pick him up. And he was there with a buddy. He'll be on the podcast, Grayson Fowler. He'll be on the podcast soon as a guest.
Aquaman.
Yep. And he looks like Aquaman. Yeah, if y'all can check him out on Facebook or Instagram, he looks like Aquaman. So, but he's walking out, and we see him talking to this person, and we don't know who it is yet until we pull up. So we pull up beside him, we start talking to him. And so she walks up, and Nick has a better perspective of this because he's sitting right passenger. So like he's right there in the game zone, you know. But she comes up to us and she's like, "Guess how old I am?" You know,
Ooh.
us as men, we
35.
can't
Yeah.
we can't accurately guess. We're not allowed to.
It's illegal, basically.
It is basically illegal. But Nick throws out 35 just to be funny, be courteous, you know.
35.
I don't mean to be mean to this girl, but this girl looked like she was on her deathbed, bro.
Oh, my
She looked like she just
gosh.
walked out of the hospital.
And you thought it'd be safe to throw out the number 35 at her.
Yes, because I was trying to be nice.
Well, I mean, nobody's going to be offended by that unless they're younger than 35. But
She said, "I love you so much." I was like, "Oh, back away, back away. I'm a minor."
yeah, and then she just started talking about how good Grayson looked and
Grayson,
how his abs were good and his chest form was good. And she
And
just
other
it
things.
got weird real fast.
Yeah.
It got weird really fast. I'll say that.
it escalated like from 0 to 100 in about 30 seconds. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well-
Just to put it in perspective, Grayson is a 6'7", 250-pound
Tight end.
tight end. Plays at Limestone. Bro looks like, I don't know. He just looks amazing. He looks like Aquaman.
He looks like a football player.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine a football player in your head.
And this lady's just hitting on him, and I'm like, she's literally 3 times his age. It was wild.
Goes to show the elderly can still play.
Yes. Yes, that is a lesson we all must learn.
Have you had any experiences with older women, Eli?
Unfortunately, I do not, except one time I was at the lake and I danced with an old lady. I think her name was Cheryl.
No way.
Yep, I danced with her to Tennessee whiskey.
That's what I'm talking about. Right
Yeah,
Uh.
and Cheryl was just loving the dance, and I was just sitting there. Yeah, Cheryl, that's
Bro, I have actually a story. I just thought about this. I've had a story with some older women in the past. One time,
Lord.
this was probably a couple years ago. We were at Surfside Beach, South Carolina.
Oh,
Beautiful place.
But you went down. You were single, wasn't you? When you went down there,
I was single,
you
yes.
you looking around.
I went down there, and me and my friend Noah were walking down to the pier. We were on the beach piers probably half a mile down the beach. We were like, let's go down there and get some drinks. And we were messing around. We were like, all right, let's see how many old women. We were trying to find some old ladies to kiss me on the cheek for a picture. I was going to take a picture like that. if I can find it, we'll put it on the screen. I don't know if I have the picture anymore. But we're walking down the beach, and I find these two old ladies. And I was like, hey. And I'm probably 15. I don't know. I was like, hey, would you guys like to take a picture with me? And they were like, oh, yeah, sure, sweetheart. They come walking over there. I was like, oh, but you got to kiss me on the cheek. And they were like, okay. And I had two old ladies on either side of me kissing me on the cheek. Dude, it was so legendary. It was hilarious. They thought it was funny, too.
I'm sure they did. I mean, that's just the way it operates.
Creepy. They probably thought it was
Probably.
Yeah.
Very random,
What's
out
this
of
little
pocket.
boy want?
Yeah, eventually, eventually it becomes they're not the creepy ones, you are.
Yeah.
In that kind of situation, that's what happens there. But yeah, that's just been what's going on in our week this week. Anything with you? Anything?
Well, I just finished up my college classes. I'm in dual enrollment in high school, and yep.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. And I just got back from the beach last week, and one thing that I did forget was that I had a speech due. So, of course, as anybody would, I didn't remember till we were on the way home. So the speed dial or the speedometer went up to, I'd say, from 60 to 90 on the way back home, and I finally get to my speech. I'm tan. I'm still in the clothes from when I left the beach. I mean, it was just a mess, and I go up there, and I'm thinking, what's the topic I'm supposed to be talking about? I had to pretend I was the president of the United States, and
that ain't very hard to do. That's not very hard to do.
Well, you would think so until you get up there and you just look at everybody looking at you. Your face is red, but it's not because you're embarrassed.
Because you're tan.
It's because I'm tan.
Yeah.
So they're all looking at me. I see people in the corner laughing off. I mean, all people just looking at me crazy. So I get up there and I just look down on the podium and I just look back up and I just look at everybody and start laughing. I just started laughing. There's nothing I could do. So the speech was supposed to be about 2 to 3 minutes long, and it ended up being 58 seconds, and it ended with me laughing and saying, thank you, everybody. I wasn't prepared.
But
so,
since you were the president, what would the one word that you would describe America as? What type of nation would you describe it as being?
a great opportunity for everybody. I mean, I know that's like more than one word, but I mean, it's just when I think of America, it's a great opportunity for everybody. It is.
I think of the South or Southern. You know, I mean that's.
I mean, no one
Joe
else.
Biden said it better than anyone, honestly.
What was that?
Oh yeah.
He said it better than any of us.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to excuse me.
We'll play it right here on the screen. He played it better than any of us. Just the way he says it. It hit my heart. It hit my heart different than any of them. It hit my heart better than
I remember
anything.
the day that clip came out. At first, I didn't believe it. Like I thought it was. I said, "There's no way this real." So I looked it up, and it was real. I remember the day that came out, and everybody looked so uncomfortable. It's probably the face that he made when he got up at speech and realized he didn't have anything to talk about. They looked so uncomfortable, so nervous. You know, and that's how it is every time he gets up for a speech.
Dude, our president's a very interesting man.
Very interesting.
He is very interesting.
I think he does exactly what Eli did. I think he just gets up there.
And
he
babbles.
looks down, he looks
Yeah, battle. I mean, hey, listen. I do have to say this. I will give I will give props to the man. Just like Eli said, he battles and he fights for
Bro,
words.
He's definitely got voices in his head though.
Oh yeah. Well, you remember he hit on that 11-year-old girl.
Oh,
Remember that one
He's
clip?
on more than just one.
Well, that's true.
Girl.
It is just one, but yeah. Do you remember the clip we played on the show? We played a clip on the show.
oh Lord.
You're 11 years old. Talk to me before we leave.
That was a great clip, by the way. But so tell us about your business. What made you want to design merchandise?
Well, it started out as last year, and I've always wanted to be someone to get into business, and I've always wanted to be someone to, be able to sell and promote something that means a lot to myself. Mm-hmm. So one day my buddy Randy came up to me in my garage, and he said, hey, what's going on? I said, dude, I need to make some money somehow. I need to just, I just want to do what my profession is, and he said, well, why don't we start a business? And I said, yeah, I want to, but it's hard, funding, all that. And, I was working at the Colonial Fish Camp right down the road for a little bit, so it's not like I'm making heavy loads of money. And he said, well, let's team up. And I said, all right. And then he sort of backed out a little bit, and I went back and I said, let's actually do this. Let's pursue this. So we did. We spent about $500 maybe on just the total equipment, and we had someone else help us at the time, and he ended up wasting like 2 hours of our time. It was funny, but we ended up making the shirts, and I started posting them and saying, hey, everybody, come buy this, And it felt good because all of a sudden it wasn't people just buying it just because, they're my friends, they're going to support. They were actually liking it. They were wearing it everywhere they went. They went to the gym with those shirts on. I mean, it was crazy. I walked around, and about 50 different people I saw maybe within the first week were wearing my merchandise, and I said, wow, this feels really good. So I ended up taking charge, and we ended up having a campaign for the Breast Cancer Association.
That's awesome.
And I raised $1,000 for the Cancer Association downtown Spartanburg. And with that, I went and presented my business model to the Brian Zig downtown, and he offered me an office space, and I said, yes, I'll absolutely take it. So I've been running out of there for, I would say, almost half a year. Feather Threads is almost a year old now.
Let's go.
And it's come over a lot of challenges. I was told to stop by, even people that I was with, and, friends told me, and a lot of my friends were supportive, but there's some that told you, you're always going to have people that say you need to stop, you don't have the time for it, it seems like you're declining. And the sad part was I was listening to it at the time, and I sort of in my mind was backing up and saying, I couldn't do this. And then you start putting yourself around people that do support you. And I said, I can do this. So I started learning more about economics, marketing, advertising, and I got myself into some of those classes at the college up here. And it's been hard. I've had to come over a lot of challenges and make a lot of sacrifices, especially with friends and time. But the outcome is definitely worth it. I'm happy every day that I go into that office and I make a shirt, and I'm happy going around my school and going around, even in public now. I'm seeing people that are 3 times as older as me wearing my shirts.
That's awesome.
And it's like, to me, I've always had an appreciation for art and value. And it's just like, even with getting a tattoo or, painting a picture, hanging up someone's picture somewhere, it's art.
Yeah.
So to me, business to me is my art, and it's what I appreciate, and it's what I like to see everybody else happy in this. That's proper marketing. Don't be in something for the money. Be in because you want to do it, and be in because, it's your passion, and do it with a full heart too. Mm-hmm. So I refuse to give up. I refuse. I'm very hard-headed about that. I will refuse to give up. And I don't listen to people that don't know anything what they're talking about. That's number one thing, is don't listen to people that try and tell you things that they have no idea what you're doing. So, yeah, and from this time to October, when I got the official office space, I've raised probably and made in profit, I'd say, anywhere close to a couple $1,000, $6,000-$7,000 total. So,
Wow.
And that's just coming in now at once a week, Saturday mornings for about maybe 4 hours at most, 5 hours at most, and prepping on Monday and Tuesdays. On top of that, working, going to school, both schools, college and high school, and, trying to have personal time in that too.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's really good. I mean, anything you do, you have to do it wholeheartedly, or you'll never get anywhere.
With passion.
If he'd have went into this, saying, I'm going to try this on the side, maybe I might dabble in it, he'd have never got where he is now.
Yeah.
He'd have just stopped, whenever it got tough.
And there's still people that I know, and they're great people, wonderful people. They help me make the shirts. They help me figure out the process, and, they openly say, I'm in it for the money, and it's just, if you want to do something and be successful at it, make it a passion. Make it, a career, not a job. So,
if you're doing something you don't enjoy, look at how many people have jobs they don't enjoy and they're not happy all the time.
Yeah,
you see it every day.
If you enjoy what you do, you never have to work a day in your life.
Oh yeah.
I liked how you were saying, whenever, like, you got to surround your people with surround yourself with people, who aren't gonna
A lot
bring you
of
down.
sacrifices. It is, and as you are what you put your environment around. And and a lot of people trying to argue and say, no, I'm different from those other people. They don't make me do anything. But the sad truth is that, as humans and as people, we base our morals more off of who we're around and what we see on
What
a
other
daily
people
basis. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's harder for us to sort of determine what's right from wrong when the people that you love and basing your morals off of are doing what's really wrong, but you see it as a whole different way.
Yeah, man. Seth and I were actually talking about this the other day, kind of on a different subject, relationship-wise, but it's kind of the same perspective. We're saying that, like, even, people who love you, like your family, if they're telling you to do something, but it's not biblically right, you got to look at what, the Bible says about something. Like if you're wondering about something, is this right? Is this right? Is this right? Is this wrong? What should I make the decision? You'll find that decision if you go to the scripture, read what God says about it.
You can find out, who you should hang out with, what they should look like, who you should marry. Anything you want to find out is all there.
Even with business ethics too, all of that fits in with ethics just in general. It's
Dude,
just
it's the base of everything.
It's a base, and it tells you, whether your morals are right or wrong. I'm proud to be a Christian. I'm proud to base my morals off of that, and you're going to mess up. You are going to mess up, and that's one thing that I really take hard on myself too, because I'm, in charge of a lot of stuff, and I'm very responsible for a lot of things now. But one thing I got to say to myself is, you're human, but it's not what you do to mess up. It's how you recover. It's how you grow from it.
Exactly. I was watching.
Learning from mistakes, basically, almost.
Yeah, it's how you take. It's the lesson. Everything we do is a lesson.
Oh yeah.
Everything we do is a lesson. I was talking to a friend last night about this, and he was saying, "Oh, this is I'm upset about this," and I said, "Everything you do is a lesson. It's gonna hurt now. It's like ripping off that Band-Aid, but you're gonna learn from it, bud."
That's like talking about lesson. For a while I consider myself a pretty good driver. Paying attention. Different stuff like that. Well, one day I had an accident. I said, hey, I got to pay better attention when I'm driving. I haven't had an accident since.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to learn from your mistakes.
Bro, that's me every day.
Yeah. Every time you wake up, you say, I can't be doing this.
My brothers told me I drive like a maniac the other day. They were like, dude, you got to chill out. You drive like a maniac. And now my truck is like broken down. It's in the shop.
Yeah, what do you expect when South Carolina gives a license to a 15-year-old?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I
mean,
can say this. I will say this. When you drive a manual as a stick shift, that's never good.
Oh.
I made it possible.
You made it possible, but look, now your inside is smoking. Under your hood is smoking. So
Hey, we're fixing it, though.
you're fixing it.
We're fixing it. We don't know what's wrong with it.
Like
yet,
I said,
but
it's not the problem. It's how you fix it.
Amen.
So there we go.
Oh yeah. So give it. Our podcast is a Southern perspective, so we do things through a different mind. Give us your perspective of Gaffney, or like, is it any different from where you may have lived before? If you remember anything, what is your perspective of Gaffney as a city?
So I was born and adopted in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I wasn't there for very long, but I moved to Greenville, South Carolina when I was really, really little, infant-wise, and I grew up in Greenville, not Gaffney, and then, I had some altercations, personal life, and I ended up living with my grandparents here. And one thing that I noticed about Gaffney more, as a Southern perspective, is that Gaffney is more closer than people in Greenville. That's one thing that I really appreciate about this. Like, I came here and I even knew Nick's whole family. I don't even know how I did, but we knew them somehow.
I think it was through my grandma.
Yeah, and it's just all the grandparents here are just so connected, and it makes the next generations connected. As crazy as people are here, it's just there's everywhere. There's people everywhere.
Oh yeah.
People focus on just the crazy people everywhere, and it's just right here, people don't understand the closeness that they have here in this town and the freedom, too. Gaffney is a very free city, and that, with that, it comes its good parts and its bad parts. But you got, in Greenville, a lot of things that you don't see people hanging out as much as they do here. People like to walk here. There's trails for people to walk here, and there are in Greenville, but you're not seeing people of a younger perspective doing that, and younger background. They're more of adults that can do whatever they want.
People.
Yeah, but here in Gaffney, I've noticed too with people growing up is that they sort of they sort of push them out to do stuff, and not in a bad way. It's just sort of, pushing a bird out of its nest to make it. That's the only way it's going to learn how to fly.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be comfortable. And that's one thing I learned here from Greenville is that, and that I feel like that shaped me in a better person, especially with the mindset too, is, a lot of times it will come down to not what you know, but who you know. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing here is there's a lot of connections here. It's just you got to dig for them. So.
Oh, yeah. I remember, talking about that, the connections. It's absolutely true how you can see that because I met these people last year, I believe it was. I'd never seen them ever before in my life. Yeah. And they were older people, and I met them. I mean, we got to talking, became real good friends. I go over their house a lot. But the more I talked to them, I would list people off that I know or related to, and they would just list off
everybody.
They would list off how they knew them, or not necessarily related, but how they knew them. They had a interaction with them at some point in their life, and it is crazy how everybody here is connected in some way.
And that's actually sort of the opportunity I got with my office space now too, is because they were looking in the paper about the whole breast cancer association thing, and I got a call from like 2 or 3 different people. My friend said, hey, this guy's looking for you, and it was Brian Zig, and he reached out to us because of those small-town connections, and it's worth it. Well,
that's how we got this studio,
Yeah,
connection,
it's the connections.
and that's how we got this. I mean, it's crazy what can happen.
There's a person here in Gaffney for everything. That's one thing I've noticed.
Gaffney, South Carolina. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if you do something wrong, you're trying to hide something, you might as well quit. Cause
it'll get found out in Gaffney.
It's gonna get found out.
So
and if you ever go to
small town talk,
this is considered a small town, but if you ever go to like smaller towns than this, like where my dad was born and raised in Lenore, North Carolina, it's smaller than this. And it's just,
I've never even heard of it.
Exactly. The smaller you go, it's just the more connected everybody becomes.
Yeah. And that's really important for a community to stay close and connected because it allows you to grow not only, financially, economically, and, it helps you grow as a society too, and it helps you better things for the people that do live there. So they're more comfortable. Mm-hmm. It's more comfortable just for listening instead of, in a bigger place, let's say like, Greenville, where you'd have to have a whole committee of people just to even talk about putting a, tree in the park. I mean, it'd be a whole committee of people vote. There's that one guy in the back eating potato chips. He didn't listen. They got to repeat it. Then he votes no. Then he votes no, and they ring the bell, gavel time, and it's just
order in the courtroom.
For real. So I think it's very well connected here. I really do enjoy Gaffney a lot more than I do Greenville. No hate on Greenville, but it's just the opportunities here.
I'm a small town guy, not a big city. I don't enjoy the big city. That's not where I need to be.
Do what? I could never live there.
Busy now. So busy.
Oh yeah. I mean, Gaffney's busy, but I mean, you go to play like Charlotte, Greenville, Atlanta, any city within 100 miles of here, it's totally different atmosphere.
Now, see, here's my adventure. What I want to do with my life, though, is I do want to move to a big city, and I want to be rushed around because I'm always a impulsive, rapid person. I like to work. I want to go to a big city, but eventually, when I become a lot older, I want to come back to a smaller town, especially this one. I have a lot of roots here that I connect with, and a lot of people that I connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think anything will change the people of Gaffney, and some people view that as a tragic thing or a bad thing, but I honestly think that's probably the best news I've ever heard in my life. To be honest with you, I wouldn't want the atmosphere to change. I'd love
to stay the way it is forever.
Yeah,
me too.
So
well, listen, this has been a good interview. I think it went very well. We ran a little long today, 23 minutes. That's a new record.
Really? Yeah.
That's
23 minutes.
Yeah, that's a new record for us. But time to sign off for now.
Yeah. All right.
Y'all go check out Eli and his company. Y'all go buy some of his merch. You'll won't regret it, man.
All soft cotton material. Thank you so much for having me on, y'all boys.
Y'all have a good evening.